Everybody here is out of sight. They don't bark and they don't bite. They keep things loose, they keep things alive. Everybody was dancing in the moonlight. Dancing in the moonlight. Everybody's feeling warm and bright. It's such a fine and natural sight. Everybody's dancing in the moonlight. We like our fun and we never fight. You can't dance and stay uptight. It's supernatural delight. Everybody was dancing in the moonlight. Dancing in the moonlight. Everybody's feeling warm and bright. It's such a fine and natural sight. Everybody's dancing in the Everybody here is out of sight. They don't bark and they don't bite. They keep things loose, they keep things alive. Everybody was dancing in the moonlight. Everybody's dancing in the moonlight. Everybody's feeling warm and bright. It's such a fine and natural sight. Everybody's dancing in the moonlight. Everybody's dancing in the moonlight. Everybody's feeling warm and bright. It's such a fine and natural sight. Everybody's dancing in the moonlight. Everybody's dancing in the moonlight. Everybody's feeling warm and bright. It's such a fine and natural sight. Everybody's dancing in the moonlight. Everybody's dancing in the moonlight. Everybody's feeling warm and bright. It's such a fine and natural sight.
You are so beautiful. To me, you are so beautiful. To me, can't you see? Everything I hope for, you're everything I need. You are so beautiful to me. You are so beautiful. To me, you are so beautiful. To me, can't you see? You're everything I hope for. Everything I need. You are so beautiful to me.
We play your favorites. KLYC, McMinnville, Willamina. ABC News Now, I'm Deirdre Bryant. Residents stuck outside their wooded neighborhood in the Pennsylvania Pocono Mountains were allowed to return at daybreak after a very tense night. Authorities are searching for the suspect in last week's deadly ambush at a state police barracks. The hunt for 31-year-old Eric Freen focused on an area where he grew up. The Secret Service facing serious questions after a man who jumped the fence around the White House made it all the way through the front door. The man arrested and taken to a hospital after complaining of chest pains. The incident triggered a rare evacuation of much of the White House. Chrysler is recalling nearly 189,000 Jeep Grand Cherokees and Dodge Durangos from 2011 to fix a fuel pump problem that can cause the SUVs to stall. The iPhone 6 seems to be off to a pretty good start. A record number of people waited outside Apple's flagship store in Manhattan yesterday morning. Nearly 1,900 people were in line, a 240% increase over the iPhone 5. This is ABC News.
What are you going to do with your old car? You can try selling it, you could junk it, or you can donate it to Heritage for the Blind. Your car will be towed away for free, and your donation is tax deductible. Just call 1-800-203-7718. Heritage for the Blind accepts cars, vans, trucks, and boats. It doesn't matter if your vehicle runs or not. It'll be towed away for free, and you'll be supporting those that need help. Heritage for the Blind is a non-profit organization that helps the visually impaired live fuller lives. Call right now to donate your car. And as a special thank you for calling, you'll receive a free 3-day vacation voucher to many exciting locations. Call Heritage for the Blind right now. Call 1-800-203-7718. Donating is easy, and your vehicle is towed away for free. Plus, you'll get a free vacation voucher. Call now, 1-800-203-7718. That's 1-800-203-7718.
Need help with your move? Do you have a last-minute move within a 60-mile radius of McMinnville? Try J&J Labor Force. For only $50, 2 movers will arrive and bring all the equipment they need to move you and your belongings. If you need a truck, rent one from J&J Labor Force at a 10% discount. Last-minute moves, their specialty. J&J Labor Force, across from the Tesoro gas station in McMinnville. Call 503-857-3344. 857-3344. J&J Labor Force. AM 1260 KLYC. The forecast, expect areas of smoke to continue through Sunday night. Otherwise, mostly sunny skies. High in mid-80s, lows in the mid-50s. Slight chance of rain. Highs about 76 on Tuesday. 66 degrees right now at McMinnville.
And welcome. You are tuned right here to KLYC, and you're listening to The Root of It.
Good morning.
Well, good morning, Ray, over there.
Good morning, Yamhill County.
It's 9:03 right now.
We're here, and we're going to discuss some gardening topics today.
Well, that's because this is a gardening show. It's
how convenient!
Right, it's the local Yamhill County gardening show. So.
Yep. We're sponsored by Oregon State Extension, and we're sponsored by Recology and Northwest Greenlands.
Well, it's because we belong to the Master Gardeners out of the Oregon State University Extension Services. And again, the local office here is in McMinnville, and it's at 2050 Lafayette
Avenue. Yeah, not street.
No.
No, I learned that lesson.
There is a street in McMinnville also called Lafayette, huh?
No, but everybody thinks it should be Lafayette Street because it goes all the way through, and it's not what it is.
Nope.
But anyway, we're we're going to talk about the weather a little bit. Some interesting things coming up. Summer's going to end. I know it's going to be like 80 plus 90 whatever degrees today, and then we're going to
And tomorrow.
And tomorrow. But trust me, folks, it's going to be fall. Fall is coming.
I believe you, and this is because you're alluding to in the middle of the week coming up here, we've got some rain showers predicted. But from what I've seen and what I've read, is it for us, it's just going to be like one of those little sprinklings that we get every once in a while. It's just nothing hard, or the fields aren't going to get all worked up or muddy.
The Weather Cafe says this is going to be our first fall storm. Really? Yeah. Gasp. Ta-da-da-dam. Yeah, like with heavy rain and wind and the whole thing. But, for 2 days. So it's going to be just a kind of a waker-upper.
And that's really, because right after that, back to 80, 90.
Yeah, for
a day or two, and then back to rain.
And then back to rain.
So it's kind of like Morse code, ... ..
It's like take the picnic table cushions in. No.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, you're not going to be eating on the deck anymore.
No more barbecuing?
Well, you can still barbecue if you got a roof. You're just not going to be sitting underneath the umbrella, well, you can still barbecue today. Do your barbecue today.
Last weekend for it, I guess. Go out and get that bar. Here, that's a good idea. I should go and do that tomorrow, especially because I've got the football.
Yeah. Absolutely, be a great idea.
Yeah.
Go ahead and barbecue this weekend.
Because Monday,
Tuesday, Wednesday, it's just going to peter out.
Yeah,
it's going to go right into yucky stuff.
And for me, you can see I brought in some grapes here.
Oh, man.
And the reason I brought in the grapes, these are Pinot Noir from my garden. And these were just sticks in the ground 2 years ago. And they've produced berries. And I'm happy with that. I'm pleased with that. But more than anything, the weather is so important this time of year to know. So if you've got rains coming, especially Monday, Tuesday, and the grapes are testing as, and this is relevant because this is a big wine country.
Right.
But it's you got to pick them now because otherwise, you see how tight those are, right? That's really nice and tight pine cones right there.
Like a big purple snowball.
That's right, but inside there, it's got these little mold things that are just waiting for a little bit, a hint of wetness, and then all of a sudden you've got the botrytis, and you've got the powdery mildew, and you've got all of these things that just start to explode as soon as those first fall rains hit. So right now, and you've probably seen the trucks just driving through, slowing traffic, just those big grape wooden things. Yeah, they're just out there right now. And the whole county right now is on fire with them. Not literally on fire. That's Washington County, apparently. Oh, my gosh. That was the news. Have you seen the news on that?
I did.
How hot it is because of that. We are now there. There's a fire up there.
We have our own little forest fire up at Hague Lake.
And did you
Hag
see the? Did you Hag?
Whatever.
Did you see the plume of smoke that we have drifting southwardly from that? It's incredible. As on my drive in. It spans so many miles.
I woke up this morning and it smelled just like we were camping.
Oh, really? You could smell that?
Yeah, you could smell it just fine. Even though the sunrise was nice and clear to the east, on the other side of you.
Yeah.
The smoke is sneaking right down along, and we could get pretty well smoked out. There's it's going strong. There's
last week that was smoked out. I don't know if it was that bad up here, but all day it was just. I was waiting for the haze to lift, and then there was no lifting of that haze last week.
No,
it was not haze.
No, we had the northeast winds last week, and it was blowing all that Estacada fire smoke right down here into the valley.
Yeah, I mean, I had even I had texted you. And you hadn't been out of the house, and I hadn't been out of the house to see it, and then it was a big surprise. It's like, wow, is it still morning? Is it still? Because that was really bad with the smoke last week.
When I did finally go out and look, you couldn't see the Coast Range.
Right, I could not see across my street.
Yeah.
We were really bad down there.
Yeah, it was. But anyway,
And that's the weather. That's
the weather.
The weather is fire.
The weather is just fine for fire, forest fire. Yuck.
I know, it's perfect.
Sorry. Good luck to the guys up there and the gals around the lake area getting that under control today.
Oh my gosh.
It's not under control yet. They don't have anything surrounded. It's just merrily burning off through the forest.
And even and that's what's frustrating also is that we've got this really hot day today and this really hot day tomorrow, and then there's actually going to hopefully be a little bit of rain.
Yeah, it's which is okay. It's time for it. You know.
Are you tired?
I'm tired.
I just want to go hibernate. I want to go to sleep. I want to let the moss return.
Yeah, yeah. But it's going to be nice for a little bit longer. Just a couple of days. I went out yesterday and finally just whacked off the I'm tired of feeding the deer.
Oh.
I pulled up the petunias. I'm never planting petunias on my deck again.
Because they just attract the deer. Nothing attracts the deer like the petunias.
Oh, yes. They just love the blossoms. They apparently they're between the deer and the cucumber beetle larvae and the squash moths that I've been feeding all summer long.
My yellow jackets, my tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of yellow jackets that have descended upon my Pinot Noir because they're so juicy. And actually this morning when I went and I picked those off of the vines, there were so many yellow jackets inside of the brethren of these berries that they were drunk. And it's really funny to see the yellow jackets because they'll sop up all of that sugar and then they'll get, I don't know if it's lightheaded or something. They stagger. They don't fly as well, and they're funny to watch because you can bat them and they can't move. They're just, that's funny.
They can't dodge you.
No.
Yeah. I'll go get my fly swatter. Come on out. And
Gonna need a bigger swatter.
Yeah, smack a few.
Yeah.
I did finally have some success with yellow jacket nests that we had on the deck. I have finally cut their numbers.
Yes.
And then this afternoon I'll plug the holes with insulation foam, and we just won't have that issue next year.
Good. And what I've done is I've actually marked a few holes in my field where I have seen the yellow jacket holes, so I'm making note of that. But right now they're actually doing me a favor. They're the fruit that I'm not eating, and especially with around the apple trees, which you got to witness. I have all of these apples on the ground, so I don't have to deal with them because they're all just sucking them dry.
They just dry them up and they'll biodegrade just fine.
Yep.
The other thing, though, next year that I'm going to do differently than I did this year is I'm going to go ahead and hang the traps up in February and March.
I agree. And you know what? We should probably set the alarm for that so that we don't forget. Because we'll need to do a reminder to everybody in Yamhill County to make sure that those traps are out there so that we're not multiplying these yellow jackets.
If you can do that and catch the queens first thing in the spring, because the queens hatch first out of the old nest that like the one that's behind the fascia board on my deck. I know there's going to be queens coming out of there. If I can catch those right off the get-go before they fly away and establish a new nest, I'll clear me a swath about 100 yards around. Because that's kind of their zone per nest that's required to keep that particular nest going. They don't fly hundreds of miles or anything
or
like
even
that.
mile.
No. They're pretty zonal. We'll call them zonal. And,
radial.
Yep. And if you can catch the queens right off the get-go, you just eliminated an entire nest of yellow jackets per queen.
If only we had, Ray.
If only we had.
I'd still have feeling in my lower right leg.
Ow. Yeah,
I guess so.
I'd have had an accident.
Okay, so it's 9:13. Let's take our first break this morning. We are going to come back and we'll talk about what? What you have pointing to ears thing.
Okay, we have telephone communication.
Is that what that is? That's a symbol for telephone?
That's
I didn't see the pinky down there. I thought all I saw was this.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Okay.
503.
Yes.
435.
Yes.
1260.
503-435-1260. We're here to answer your gardening questions, plant questions, anything like that.
If you have any questions at all, give us a jingle today. We've actually got the phones hooked up and running, and we're back in businesses.
And when we get back, we can also take the questions that we got from the Extension Office, Farmers Market email, and all of those other ones. So stay tuned right now. You're listening to The Root of It right here on KLYC 1260 AM.
For a lawn worthy of the spotlight, you need a mower worthy of the same. Try Kubota's Commander Z100 Series zero-turn mowers. These high-output, gas-powered machines are cutting-edge and commercial-grade. Demanding attention with brilliant LED headlights, 5-inch deep mower decks, and commercial Hydra gear transmissions, Kubota puts professional results at your fingertips. Get exceptional savings on all Kubota Commanders during the Gear Up and Go sales event with 0 down and 0% APR financing for up to 48 months. Command the spotlight during the Gear Up and Go sales event right now at your local Kubota.com. 0 down, 0% APR financing for terms up to 48 months on Z100 Commander models now through 12/31/14. Financing is available through Kubota Credit Corporation, USA, subject to credit approval. Other conditions may apply. Offer expires 12/31/14. For more information, call toll-free 1-888-465-8268.
AM 1260 KLYC, and time we head down to Harvest Fresh, talk to our good friend Bob, and see what's special at Harvest Fresh. Bob, how you doing today?
Hey, good morning, Dave. How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm starved.
Oh, you're starved. Well, guess what? You got the right place on the telephone for that need. Hey, this week we got some great items. I want to start off. We got these avocados. We got a special buy on them. They're California. They are a Haas variety. They're extra large avocados, $1.29 each. And I don't know if you follow the avocado prices, but they're kind of up right now in price. And this is just one fantastic price. You know, hey, what's better than some guacamole dip for the duck game this weekend? So I invite everybody to come down and try these avocados. They are fantastic.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, absolutely. And we also have first of the season Northwest local pears. We have your choice of Bartlett, Bosch, or D'Anjou pears at 79 cents a pound. But guess what else we have? We have 28-pound cases for canning, $19.99 a case. That's a steal. $20 for a case of peaches, or I'm sorry, not peaches, but pears, and you can get all of your canning done for the winter. And just give me a call, and I'll get that ordered for you, and we can have it the very following next day for you. We also have local Honeycrisp apples at $1.69 a pound, and we have Empress plums at $1.59 a pound, and we still have the Munoz Farms local tomatoes at 99 cents a pound. Over in the organic section, we have the Washington yellow nectarines at $2.79 a pound. We have bunch broccolette at $2.59 a pound, and we have the local 24-count bunch carrots at $2 for $4. And we have red seedless grapes, organic red seedless grapes at $2.99 a pound. And in the meat department this week, we have free-range turkey tenders at $6.99 a pound. And we have beef petite tenders. These are the same thing as our Terrace Majors, but the real name for these guys are petite tenders, and they're antibiotic, hormone-free, and they're at $7.99 a pound. You save $2 a pound on those guys this week. Great item. And we also still have the Alaskan Wild Coho Salmon at $8.99 a pound. And we got a bunch more bargains, so I invite everybody to come on down and give them a try.
And Harvest Fresh in McMinnville, don't forget they deliver, so if you can't get out, or maybe your schedule is such that you just can't get out for either health reasons or whatever, they will gladly deliver for you.
Absolutely.
Harvest Fresh, 3rd Street, downtown McMinnville. Great prices, healthy food, great food for you, and people that love to help you out. Bob, thank you very much. Have a great day.
Hey, you have a great day, too. Thanks.
And welcome back. You're listening to The Root of It right here on KLYC. And I'm just laughing at Mr. Ray because the headphones were, there you go. That's much better for our online viewing audience. That's much better. It was great hair. It was just standing straight up. So anyway, we're back right here on 1260 AM, Yamhill County, gardening.
Yeah, I kind of pictured myself as that little kid in the cartoons with the one squirrely hair sticking up.
Yes.
Very prominent hair, very thick hair.
Yes.
But just one.
Oh, no, this was a whole hair.
Yeah, this was
a whole
like,
head. It's a rainbow.
Yeah, I'm really don't do a mohawk all that well.
No. I don't know.
Eh?
I don't know. Now you've got me thinking about that. You've also got me thinking about some questions that we were getting, and you had some answers.
Well,
I love this. This is the sheet. Can we talk about this sheet real quick?
Yes.
Because it's a sheet that we get for the extension office, and the sheet is just something that a person would come in and fill out with a question that they have, attached to it, plant or something like that.
Well, anybody can come over to the extension office at 2050 Lafayette Avenue and bring in a sample, bring in a bug and alcohol in a small container, if you will.
Right.
You can bring in small soil samples and get free pH testing. And there's a lot of services that are available. The bug committee meets every other week.
So we've got people diagnosing bug problems every other week.
Yes.
And we hold the samples until then.
Yep. And then they're called back that afternoon.
And again, this is down on in McMinnville.
Right.
On 2050 Lafayette. But you can also find out more information, extension.oregonstate.edu. So let's go to the first one right there.
This one was really an interesting one because I'd never heard of this before. You learn a lot about gardening just all the time.
If you have people coming to you with problems, you learn from their problems.
Exactly.
You don't have just your problems.
No, you can deal with other people's
right,
problems
exactly.
too.
That's what.
But
you have to
this
do.
was the guy had really nice plants, had really nice leaves.
Well, that's nice of you to say.
And beautiful cantaloupe, which are tough to raise in this area anyway, because you really need an extended warm period. But this summer was perfect for everything.
Perfect cantaloupe weather.
And he had, when he cut into it, there was little tiny white worms in it.
I bet you know what this is.
I do now.
Oh.
I'd never heard of cantaloupe worms. Well, they're not cantaloupe worms per se.
Of course not. They're caterpillars of some kind or some larva that grows into a gnat of some sort,
but
right?
this is something that...
that was me guessing.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
But this is something that affects a lot of vine-type fruit, cucumbers, squash, cantaloupes. I don't know if it does watermelons or not, but it's called a pickle worm.
Ooh.
I never heard of a pickle worm.
No.
And to prevent it, you have to put the insecticide on while it's in blossom, because this is the larva of somebody that flutters by
and hangs out at the flower
and
base.
hangs out at the flower. We were talking about the flowers in the squash, zucchini flowers.
Not yet.
Not yet, but we will. Don't go away, folks. We're gonna talk about pickle flowers. No, but anyway, and you have to put it on there when bees aren't active.
Tough.
Which is a tough.
If
tough
the bees
catch.
see the flower, they're going to it.
Right. And so will this little moth that flies by and lays its eggs in the flower, which then becomes in the cantaloupe or the cucumbers.
I see.
And if you're not careful, you get these little white worms and stuff.
Okay. Does the worm have a name? Did you catch the name of that little white worm?
Yep.
Oh.
It's called a pickle worm.
No,
it really is.
It's just called a pickle. Why would it be a pickle?
Because it grows in
cucumbers.
Cucumbers and zucchinis.
I see.
And curcubits in general.
Curcubits. That's what it is,
That's
right?
the word I was going for.
Right. The melon.
I.e. cucumbers.
Right.
Melons.
Curcubits.
And it is apparently growing in the area. increasing
increasing in the numbers.
Yeah, increasing in numbers. They're normally found down where it's warmer, so this is
Maybe because it's getting warmer, huh?
It's getting warmer.
Yeah.
We had a really nice warm summer, and just right for these little guys.
Very long summer.
Yep.
We cannot appreciate how great this summer was for growing enough because it was perfect and great, and now we have worms.
Yep. But the only way to treat these little suckers is to spray them.
Yeah.
When the flowers first bloom, before the pollen actually.
So we're like talking June, July.
Yeah.
And
as soon as you see flowers,
wait.
Stand by there with your spray.
And then when the bees come, they go, okay, did you get your thing? Okay,
Yeah.
Goodbye, bees.
Yeah, goodbye.
And then spray, and then leave up the no bees signs, just sprayed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or do it just before the pollen actually gets started being produced, because then you get the spray on before the bees come.
Oh, yeah.
And then it kills the moth that lays the pickle worm.
I'm going to assume that we always read the label on this particular.
Absolutely. And it doesn't matter. Any garden insecticide will be just fine.
Yeah.
But do read the label.
Yeah, you've made me question whether I should have my asters so close to my cucumbers. Because
Really?
they're pretty close. Yeah, I've got them within 6 feet, and they attract all of the bees. They attract all of the moths. They attract so many different things.
Yeah.
So maybe I shouldn't have them there.
Well, no, because later on they come in handy, attracting
For the other flowering
Right.
things.
and your other pollinators too. I mean, there's not just bees that pollinate.
We briefly touched on that.
We did. We'll have to get into that. There's all kinds of pollinators that are out there, hoverflies and even yellow jackets to some degree. Yeah, I know, icky.
They're my slugs of this year. I mean, last year we were pretty heavy. Even the year before, they were anti-slug.
Yeah,
I could not be more anti-yellow jacket right now.
I know.
They're
bothersome.
Yes.
That's the way I'll say it.
Yes, they don't benefit me more than harm me.
There's a lot of adjectives I used to call them, but now I just call them bothersome.
Yeah, they are
anyway.
annoying.
Anyway,
pests.
here's another kind of interesting one. We've been talking.
They're
about,
all interesting.
Well, yeah, but this one is. I mean,
Kinda.
we've been preaching the raised bed garden thing now for quite a while.
That's what we do.
Yep. And if you notice around town, there's a lot of front yard gardens. People are giving up on grass. They figure if they're going to water something, they might as well water something they can eat.
Might as well.
Yep. Over in my neighborhood, there's some of the most beautiful front yard gardens.
This leaves you
I've
open
ever
to
seen.
criticism, though. If
Not
you
a-
don't have your garden in the back, hidden behind a fenced hedge or something like that, then people are going to stare at the size of your parsnips,
Yeah.
your carrots. They're
Uh-huh.
going to see if you're weeding. You're putting your whole entire personality out there when you have a garden in your front.
Well,
yard.
what I've seen, and there's probably a half a dozen of them that I find when I'm walking the dog, and a lot of them are raised beds, incorporating chickens
Yeah.
in an enclosed area with suitable anti-deer fencing, and these people have produced enormous amounts of squash and peas and lettuce crops and tomatoes that are I envy.
Yes.
I am jealous, kind of.
And so then you are also, when you expose yourself in your gardening terms in the front yard, you could be boastful.
Yep. Well, here was one where they wanted to know if they could use sheetrock to line their garden path as opposed to mulch, compost, sawdust.
Sheetrock has the gypsum,
It has
whatever.
Yeah. People think it's because it's white, it's got calcium in it.
Sorry. You can't do
Yeah.
that. You can't just laugh like that.
And they think that because it has gypsum in it, that's something that's good for the soil too.
It helps the roots do whatever the roots do.
Yeah, the only problem is the additional chemicals that are actually in there, the binding agents that make the sheetrock
The
be
drying,
sheetrock.
the drying agents,
The
these chemical-
formaldehydes and the icky things that actually make sheetrock be hard paneling.
There we go.
Don't biodegrade nicely in the garden.
Right.
So yeah, you would have a solid way, a solid footpath,
Yeah.
but you would be adding things that are not necessarily good.
Do you have a list of you said formaldehyde and the
Well-
things that are in the sheetrock, but that is a very good point, because I didn't even, when you said sheetrock, I'm like, well, that's just silly to even use. You might as well just use chalk or something. But you might as well use chalk. It sounds like you'd be better off.
Actually, you would, you really would. There's so many things that work better at newspaper, grass clippings, cardboard, straw on top of the newspapers or cardboard, wood chips, cedar chips.
I've been laughing at the answering of this question, but this question is exactly why I love reading these questions, because it is perfectly reasonable to ask this question, and now everybody can learn from this.
Yeah. Hog fuel is actually, and by hog fuel, that's the stuff when they bark the trees
Right.
to run them through the sawmill, you get the bark, plus you get some wood chips off the outside.
Soiled dirt too.
Soil and dirt. But anyway, that makes a really excellent, durable ground surface. People use it in horse arenas, and because it's soft, it's easy to walk on, it binds together fairly well. It does prevent weeds really well. Keeps
Because it's really a low pH. It's acidic.
kinda.
Yeah.
So those are all better things to use on your walkways
Good
in
point.
your raised bed gardens.
Good point.
If you want to get fancy and use gravel and stepping stones, and it makes a really pretty garden. But you don't have to do that.
Right. Because just mulch and compost, and you're fine.
The garden I was thinking of, the lady used cedar chips, and that helps contribute, supposedly, to a reduction in grass fleas.
Oh.
And cedar is repulsive to some bugs.
It's a lot of things that don't like smells.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so using fresh cedar chips
Interesting.
makes a good garden walkway.
That is interesting.
And it's very durable stuff. I mean, cedar lasts for a long time.
Yes. That's why most of the outdoor stuff is made out of the cedar, huh?
But anyway, that was an interesting question.
Yes.
And then
Wait for it. It's 9:31. Let's take a break
let's
right
take a
now.
break.
Because we have one of those final questions.
Yeah, the final question for
because
right now.
very pertinent right now.
Yeah, it is.
You are listening to The Root of It right here on KLYC 1260 AM.
For easy to qualify financing with no formal credit check and buy here, pay here credit terms. If you have a verifiable source of income, a permanent address, and a down payment on some vehicles as low as $500, we'll have you driving down the road today in your new vehicle. So come down and see us at 3080 Northeast Highway 99, or check us out on the web at ChristensenAutosales.net. That's ChristenSen autosales.net, or call us at 503-687-2080.
Do you want your vacuum or sewing machine to last 2 years or 20? Buy quality the first time and you'll be surprised at how affordable it is. Ace Sewing and Vacuum sell quality American-made Riccar vacuums, and you can expect them to last up to 20 years. Ace Sewing and Vacuum have Elna Swiss design and Juki professional sewing machines built to last, and Ace services everything they sell. Right across from the Tire Factory in Newburgh, open Friday 10 to 6, Saturday 10 to 4, with the widest selection of sewing notions and quilting fabrics in town. Ace Sewing and Vacuum, Newburgh, 503-538-1122.
Now is the time to go to your local Kubota dealer and get great financing on a brand new, powerful, feature-loaded Kubota Standard L-Series tractor during our Gear Up and Go sales event. If you're thinking about a rugged tractor with a cab for year-round comfort, then a new Kubota has your name on it. With a smooth-running engine, choice of transmissions, and spaciousness beyond expectation, your Kubota dealer is the place to start. Right now, get your own Kubota L-Series tractor for 0 down and 0% financing for up to 60 months. So for a great deal, think orange at the Kubota Gear Up and Go sales event. For more information or to find a participating dealer, go to Kubota.com.
0 down, 0% APR financing for terms up to 60 months on selected equipment now through September 30th, 2014. Not available for rental national accounts or government customers. 0% APR low rate financing not available with instant rebate offers. Financing available through Kubota Credit Corporation USA subject to credit approval. Other exceptions may apply. For more information, call toll free 1-888-465-8268.
Folks, listen up here. We got a little thing come in on the old telex or whatever you call it back there. That's an emergency conflagration act has been declared by Governor Kitzhaber for the Scoggins Creek fire, which is the one up by Haig Lake. Governor Kitzhaber invoked the Emergency Conflagration Act September 19, 2014, in response to the Scoggins Creek fire burning near Haig Lake. The fire threatened several homes and forced evacuations after first being spotted on Friday afternoon. The Scoggins Creek fire has grown quickly and already forced several families to evacuate to safety, said Governor Kitzhaber. We are reminded that fire season is still not over, and the danger to life and property persists anywhere a spark and dry fuel exists, no matter what time of year. This declaration allows us to deploy more resources to battle this fire and to help residents and firefighters. In accordance with ORS, Governor Kitzhaber determined that a threat to life, safety, and property exists due to the fire, and that the threat exceeds the firefighting capabilities of local firefighting personnel and equipment. The governor's declaration authorizes the Oregon Office of State Fire Marshal to mobilize structural firefighters and equipment to assist local resources battling the fire. The emergency was declared for the Scoggins Creek fire only and is effective immediately. So do not drive up to Haig Lake to look at the fire. That's just wrong.
Yeah, I heard that people were doing that.
Yeah.
That was one of my first thoughts, though. It really was.
Yeah.
So getting more serious up there. And,
it's not contained.
Evacuations.
It's not under control.
Well, from what I was understanding, it's a lot of lumber country up there too. So
it's beautiful second, third growth forest. I won't call it old growth forest, but the forests are dry. We have not had rain enough to do anything. The needle beds, the needle drop is. I mean, you see it in your front yard. The shore pines are spitting the little brown needles off. Well, that's just gasoline on the floor.
Right.
So it's getting ugly up there.
Yep.
And it's going to get uglier before it gets nicer.
I agree. So back to the gardening show at hand, as it is.
Yeah.
We had just answered two of the questions that we got at the extension office.
This was a really good question.
We have one more, don't we?
We have one more.
Yes.
For today. And anybody that has any questions during the show, go ahead and give us a call. It's 503-435-1260.
If you have any questions during the week, you go ahead and you just email Ray straight away. That's ray@totherootofit.com. I'm Kyle at totherootofit.com. But Ray enjoys the emails.
Oh, yes.
Oh, not that I don't. It's just, let's give Ray something to do.
Yeah. We won't even go there.
Right.
Yeah, let's entertain Ray.
All right, so final question, number 3. And it's our favorite chemical to deal with.
Yes, and this is one that Oregon State Department of Agriculture does recommend in certain situations. And that is plain old Roundup glyphosate. You can get generic glyphosate a little cheaper than Roundup, but it is the gardener's friend. If you're not trying to be perfectly organic, of course, but
Because it isn't organic. It's a man-made chemical.
It's a man-made
designed
chemical.
to attach
and designed to kill stuff.
It's systemic, which means you spray it on a certain thing and then it travels through the system down to the roots, and that's how it kills it.
Right. And during this time of the year, when you're putting your garden to bed and you yank out all them squash plants and you find out just how many dandelions you actually got buried underneath there, before you put your garden to bed for the season, you can use Roundup to kill everything if you want.
And the reason you can do this is because Roundup, for the most part, there are varieties of Roundup, and we should probably talk about that. But one of the ones is a Day 1 Roundup, and that's a Roundup Ready to Use Weed and Grass Killer 3. And that one, you can actually plant. You can spray it, spray. And then if you've got ornamentals that you want to plant, you can plant them a day later. 24 hours.
Give it 24 hours to dry and do its magic on the things that you want it to kill. And then you can go ahead and plant like your asters and your mums and whatever decorative things you want to spruce up your garden space.
Trees and shrubs. And then flowers whose blossoms you don't plan to eat.
Right.
And we will talk about eating blossoms coming up. That's the second time we've got to allude to it. So let's keep going, though. So then there is also, with Roundup, 3 days. And this is Roundup. This is the Monsanto company. This is the big anti-corporation, blah, blah, blah. But they've got a product that is helpful to gardeners and farmers alike. So we talked about the Day 1. There is a 3 days Roundup. And this one, just as the name indicates, you might want to wait 3 days before you go ahead and you plant. What are you going to plant then?
Well, if you're going to plant your fall garden, your broccolis, your
the edible vegetables,
you wait the full 3.5, 4 days, whatever.
4 days.
Read the label.
Right. And it is 3 days, but it's always nice to just wait, just for your own peace of mind, waiting that extra time. But there are scientists and there are universities that have researched this product, and they can all state that this product is for Day 1. This product is for 3 days. So then you've got the up to 1 month version of this product, this Roundup product, and that's going to be for your vines, like your blackberries and your poison oak and your heavy brush that you don't want to deal with. This is more for probably people with property, people with land, and just with heavy brush.
Right,
So.
but still, the glyphosate has a very short lifespan. It kills and then it evaporates, breaks down, goes back into being harmless products. One thing you can do is if you go ahead and spray, and then you can run over to Northwest Greenlands and get a bunch of compost and put it on top of the spray.
Oh, yeah.
And you've built a barrier that will really knock down the whole weed issue next year.
And it's breaking it down. And when we talk about the half-life, it does depend, and that's why I like bringing up the various ones of the products that they have, because they've got the 4-month one, and that's the Roundup Ready to Use Extended Control Weed and Grass Killer.
Oh, man, that
plus
sounds
Weed
evil.
Preventer
Oh,
2.
God.
It
Holy
sounds
cow,
like an
nuclear
incredible sequel,
waste.
right? So it's 4 months, but it has a half-life of 120 days. And wow.
Yeah, that's about...
This is stuff, again, probably for the gardener. Don't need this product. Maybe around the house, you just bought a new property that hasn't seen any landscaping in years and years, and maybe you want to use this kind of product. But again, you're reminded that this isn't something you're going to plant your winter vegetable garden. You're not going to plant any vegetables after using this big, long 4-month thing. You wait the 4 months. You wait 6 months, probably.
Well, you can wait by next spring, even though you sprayed this area, by next February or March, you can go ahead and rototill the soil and go ahead and plant garden, because 4 to 6 months, it's broke down, it's gone.
Right, because this particular herbicide has the imazapic, and that's what lasts for 4 months. But it also prevents the seeds from germinating, which is the plus. That's why it has that 4-month span, because seeds aren't blossoming, aren't coming up, aren't germinating, nothing. Yeah. So you've got to be really committed to everything being dead, and for a long time. And sometimes that's what you want to do.
Well, that's why it's really cool to go ahead and after you spray this, if you're not going to spray it on. If you're planning on replanting your lawn this fall, don't use it.
No.
Because you aren't going to get any seed germination.
Right.
All you're going to do is make the bird sick eating the bad seed.
So this isn't. It's just. I throw that out there because this is. If you're browsing through your big box store and you're coming upon all of these different colored bottles, this might be one that you stay away from.
Well, unless you're going to wait and tackle the lawn regeneration project next April or May.
Oh, there you go. So for the summer, everything's killed.
Yeah,
everything completely orange,
dead for the winter.
Yeah,
and what little bit does sprout can quickly be pulled up because it's going to have weak root systems anyway because you sprayed it with this stuff.
Right.
But if you have, if you want to just prevent weeds, and can do it really carefully, like spurge is a nasty little weed in my particular garden. And if I spray it really carefully so I don't get any mist on any of my perennials.
Because you get drift.
Yeah, you got to do it on a really no wind day.
Yeah. Good luck, Coastal Range. Good job.
Yeah. And then you cover it up with the compost.
I like the idea of the compost. I hadn't thought of that, but that's a really good idea.
And then you've got the spray layer down on top of the dirt or whatever your original surface was, and you put the compost on top of it. What you've done is you've built a barrier and then covered it up, and the barrier will prevent any seed germination that's underneath the compost, so you don't get new weeds. That's the trick.
And then
that's the beauty.
After we've said all of this about Roundup, we can honestly say we don't use it. There are other things that we try before we have to go to the Roundup stage, more organic methods, and so it's not that this is a last resort. There's a time and a place for this, and maybe now is that time. If you choose to go that way.
If you choose to go that way, please read the label. Please be careful with your product. Please don't spray the next door neighbor's grapevines. Oh, Lordy.
It's because it's systemic, and systemic and broadleaf. That means anything with the broadleaf, even the grasses there, if you touch it on there, it goes and down to the roots, and it's done. And if that happened to my grapes,
oh man, would you be cranky?
So cranky.
Especially if you'd done it to yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be a hit your thumb with a hammer trick.
Because I think I killed maple trees that way. I think I had a little bit of high drift there. So there, again, a reason why to be very careful with this. So did that question get answered then? That question was...
It's safe to use it. Read the label. Make sure that you select the type of Roundup product or Monsanto product or generic glyphosate product for the application that you want to use it for.
Right.
Now, if you don't care if it's brown until April, fine. Get the stuff that,
But you probably do.
But, yeah.
So again, read the label. They're all out there, very easily readable. So let's just, you know what, when we come back, we're going to talk about some blossoms that you don't want to spray.
This was cool.
Yeah. So right now you're listening to The Root of It right here on KLYC 1260 AM, and we will be right back.
For a screen print shop that is local, does great work, is easy to work with, and the price is comparable to what you'll find online, try Devo Custom Screen Printing. They're the official KLYC t-shirt supplier, and their work on the Power of the Tower glow-in-the-dark tie-dye t-shirts has been first-rate. Devon Cottrell owns Devo's.
Three things that people need to know about screen printing is that you can get things fast, you can get things cheap, or you can get things really, really well done. And here at Devo's, we try to get the best of all three of those together. Devo's, you're going to get a good price, quality print, and we usually can knock things out in 3 to 4 days, depending on the size of the order.
Now, the best way to get a t-shirt project done is locally. You have much more control over it.
Actually physically see it, not get an email of what it might look like. So we're real happy that we can do that. And plus, talking about those tie-dye shirts, every morning you'd show up with another box, and of course there's a gleam in my eye every time. That was a great job. We really enjoyed doing that.
Devo's Custom Screen Printing, hard to find but well worth it, on the backside of the building just south of the new Transit Center in McMinnville. Devo's, 816 Southeast 1st Street, McMinnville, 857-2396, 857-2396.
Need a little help selling your vehicle or want to spiff it up a bit? Put the shine back in your ride. Let Jim at J&J Auto Detailing and Park and Sell help you out. J&J Auto Detailing, 1500 Southwest Baker Street, across from the Tesoro gas station.
And we are back. You know, when you get the long version of the theme song, that we've got some serious brainstorming and talking going on right now. I went ahead and did you know there's a KLYC app, Ray, for the iPhone, and for Android too? Am I wrong? No, for Android too. Exactly. So what I'm doing right now, as I'm on the radio, is I'm downloading the KLYC 1260 app from the iPhone, for the iPhone from the App Store. And let's see how it works.
I'm not allowed to have toys.
What? Did you get your phone taken away?
Oh.
Hurry up. We got to talk about gardening.
Yeah, you won't believe the antique piece of crap.
No, Ray,
Yeah.
that's a shame. That's a shame.
I'm back to like the sundial version.
The sundial. Look at that. Okay. So yeah, no, you're not going to have any apps on that thing. It flips open. It's really small. It fits in your pocket, and so that thing, it opens up like a clamshell.
Yeah, it's the 1998 version of the latest
That's
technology.
Actually, you know what? That's probably about. No, you're right. That's probably about.
Well, it keeps me from making tush calls.
Well, what we can do, though, is we can talk about antiquated recipes, because we have blossoms that are out there. Because right now, and this is how I figured, right now you have blossoms out there on your cucumbers, your pumpkins, and all of that are not going to develop.
They're not going to be a squash.
Chance. So what you do is you take those blossoms and you just pluck them. And pumpkin flowers are perfect because these are a great delicacy, and they're typically served stuffed and batter fried. Now, we were talking about this, and you tell me you've seen this in the wild at a dinner party.
I've
heard
the wild
of them.
potluck party.
I've had it in a salad, but it wasn't deep fried, batter fried, stuffed anything.
Well, they really are cool because they do keep their color.
Mm-hmm. And they keep the flavor too. They taste like pumpkins.
And what's amazing is the amount of nutrient that are in these blossoms. I had not thought of it until I actually saw them on the table, and these were kind of rolled up with like little long meatball things in them. And you could have beef meatballs with rice and onions and stuff like that, or you could have the chicken meatballs.
Wow, yeah.
But they're in zucchini flowers and pumpkin flowers, which are different colors.
Right.
And just absolutely delicious.
So you were talking about the nutrients, alluding to these for the pumpkin flower. The data that I was able to find is since it's got 90% water, it's going to take a whole bunch of flowers.
Well, yeah,
almost 3 cups to get any significant nutrients out of. What's really great though is if you stuff it with butter and meat and chicken or whatever you're doing, there's your nutrients right there. And then you've got a nice little taste, a little hint of the pumpkin. But so one flower has about 643 IUs of vitamin A and 9 milligrams of vitamin C, 57 milligrams potassium. If you knew anything about nutrients, these are not significant amounts. So like I said, it takes about 3 cups. And then when you get 3 cups of flowers, 3 cups of pumpkin flowers, that's a lot of pumpkin flowers, spent flowers, I guess.
Well, true.
And it really is.
But is that ground pumpkin flowers, or is that solid pumpkin flower?
I think it's the solid pumpkin flowers because you're going to stuff them.
Okay, so actually, big pumpkin flowers.
Right, they get big, right?
Yeah, they're good sized.
Okay.
So that'd be like a couple dozen.
So you're looking at 3 cups. You get your vitamin C, about 47% of the required vitamin C. You get 39% of the vitamin A, and just small amounts of calcium, iron, magnesium. However, it's cool that you're cooking with a pumpkin flower, people.
Yeah.
So you use that beer batter, and you take complete advantage of the things that you can stuff in there.
Oh, yeah.
But this is what you need to also remember is you want to use them as close to when you pick them as possible because they don't really hold.
No, you got to use them that afternoon.
Yeah.
You can go out and pick them on Saturday morning and then do this cool recipe, and then take them out for dinner on Saturday night.
Yeah, because we talk about turgor pressure, and that's why the water is staying solid in these things.
Right.
And then you remove that flour from its pressure. It's just
it drops off. It wilts right away.
Yep. So these are really great. Another thing that I learned when I was researching this is that since the pumpkins are monoecious, which is they produce both a male and a female flower, what you're really looking for are the male flowers, because the female flowers have this little bulbous thing that's down at the bottom of them that, I don't know, it's not as appealing. But for the most part, if you're doing this, let's say before in June or something like that, you want to leave the female flowers because those are what have the babies. Those are what have the pumpkins, and the male flower doesn't produce any of the pumpkin.
Well, the fun of doing it now is it probably doesn't make, because you're not going to get another pumpkin between now and...
So you pick any flower you want at this time. But if you were doing this in the middle of the summer, then you want to make sure that you're only getting the male flower so that you can let those female flowers produce their pumpkins, their squash. Because this is the same for squash, any other squashes out there.
Right.
All of the flowers are edible.
The male flowers do not have the little bulb at the bottom. That's
right.
Actually...
And that's the thing that I didn't notice. I had to go up on the YouTube to check out the difference between the male and the female flowers, and there's a little, it's like a swell down at the base of the flower, and it's very obvious that that's going to turn into a melon because it's a very small melon shape.
So do the male flowers have the long stamens?
They've got the pokey things, and that was... one of the more disturbing things that I saw, because I saw a guy pollinating flowers, and yes, you have the pointy stamens of the male flower and you have the receptacles of the female flowers, and it was disturbing. It was
in vitro fertilization with a Q-tip.
Exactly, with a guy with hairy knuckles and big fat fingers just shoving it in and out, and very high definition, and it was... Yes, again, maybe when you pluck the flowers in the middle of the summer, you might want to pollinate them, and that's how you do it. You take the male flower and you stick it close to the female flower, and the pollen exchanges. And that's how that works. However...
just rub up against it.
Let's talk about eating them, because you saw that recipe. Doesn't that recipe look pretty simple?
It looks very simple. And you could call us or email later, and we'd actually send you the recipe.
Absolutely.
We won't do it right now because we only got like 3 minutes left. But if you want this recipe, email me at ray@totherootofit, and I can send you this recipe. But it's like 2/3 a cup all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 3 leaves of fresh basil minced, 2 tablespoons of finely grated Parmesan cheese, 2 tablespoons of cold water, 2 eggs beaten, and 3 cups of oil for frying.
That's right.
So it's a pretty simple recipe.
Right, it's a batter recipe, simple enough. And then you're looking for 12 pumpkin or zucchini blossoms.
Right.
So these are nice sizes, substantial, not like those small little morning glory size blossoms. You want something a little bit bigger probably. And so then in the medium bowl, you're going to stir the flour, baking powder, all those dry ingredients together. You mix in the water and the eggs until smooth. Congratulations, you've just made a batter.
Right.
And then you want to heat a skillet with the oil. You go ahead and you, when the oil's hot, dip the blossoms in the batter to coat it, just to coat it. You don't want to drown it. You don't want to cover it all in there. And then you just go ahead and you place it in the hot oil, fry until crisp and golden, and then drain on a paper towel.
It makes a really light, very light, crunchy hors d'oeuvre looking thing.
I picture this with tempura. Almost, it would be perfect for tempura.
Yeah, and you can, I mean, you don't fry it that long. You just pretty much dip it, and as soon as it floats to the surface, it's done.
That is correct, and that is...
Anyway.
And you can do that with, like we said, the squash blossoms, because right now, like even my cucumbers are still producing flowers, and I don't need them. I'm going to cut them up. I'm going to go ahead and throw them in a salad also, because that's what you can also do with these flowers.
Well, and another thing that we did ask for was gopher removal recipes, gopher removal methods. What is your favorite gopher and mole control?
That's right.
And we're gonna do a show later when I get back.
Because you're going away, Ray.
I am gonna go away for 3 weeks.
Congratulations.
And
Bon voyage.
Yep, and we'll have Ruth and Sharon, and then I'll try to talk Mikey into coming on.
Okay, we'll see.
Mikey or Heather.
Or I'll have Mabel there.
Yeah. Actually, Mabel could do the show.
All right, Mabel's doing the show. No, I'm kidding. There's no way I could do
I think she probably could pull it off.
Okay, we're going to pull this off right now because it's 10 o'clock. But you have been listening to The Root of It here on KLYC. If you have any questions, any comments, email Ray at totherootofit.com. You can also go to klyc.us to listen to this show replay. If you are in a hurry and want to see it immediately, it'll be on youtube.com. Search KLYC, To the Root of It, and it will be up there, maybe even with video.
Yeah.
So
in the meantime,
Ray,
keep your tools sharp.
We play your music. KLYC, McMinnville, Yamhill.
ABC News Now, I'm Deirdre Bryant. The chair of the House Oversight Committee says the Secret Service is failing to do its job. Representative